Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Good afternoon and welcome to match day 22, the final round of the regular NPLW Victoria season. A big game this afternoon as Heidelberg United, who have a home prelim final locked in, will take on the Essendon Royals. With the potential of these two sides to link up again next weekend in the preliminary finals. It will hinder on how Box Hill and Bulleen go as they also try and secure themselves a home prelim final next weekend with second position still up for grabs. So plenty to play for in the last round of the regular season as we head into the warmer months, the spring, and of course September finals in both the men's and the women's. Essendon really going with an unchanged lineup as per normal. Starting in goal, Zara Board, Michaela Uris, the captain, Sasha Corey, Betty Michael, Kobe Wilburn, Amy Parkinson, Olivia Wood, Grace Marr, Kendra Smith, Alana Stern, and Alessia Bresciano, with Ava Walters, Eliza Vargu, Renee Pocock, Olivia Wistewski, Emily Arbus, and Kitty Masters on the bench for Vince Battiato's girls. Whereas for Heidelberg, they've got, of course, Anastasia Kiriakou in goals. Alongside her, Maya Hasten, Rosie Wild, Sarah Masuda, Sarah O'Donoghue, Bronte Peel, Caitlin Carrick, Tamar Levin, Oscar Mayata, Isabella Warhead, Heidi Dry to finish off the starting 11 for Heidelberg. And on the bench, Cameron Barrero, the captain, Steph Galea, Captain Velopoulos, Maya Capitanio, Molly Burke and Juliet Ryan on the bench for Heidelberg in this one. And what should be a cracking contest here at Cross Keys Reserve. As I mentioned, plenty to play for over the next 90 minutes or so for both sides. Heidelberg want to go in with not only the 3 points, but all the momentum heading into their home preliminary final. Essendon, if they don't get a result here, most likely will head to the Olympic Village next weekend to play Heidelberg in that preliminary final. And then, of course, we'll keep our eyes peeled on how both Bulleen and Box Hill go too, as both of their sides want to try and get wins against Brunswick Juventus and Preston Lions respectively to try and secure themselves a home prelim final. If results go the way of Essendon, they will most likely be back here next weekend in a home prelim final to try and stop second position. So still plenty to play for in the next 90 minutes or so. All the NPLW women's games will be concurrent as per normal in the last round of the regular season. It'll be Masuda to kick things off here at Cross Keys Reserve in what's been a brisk Melbourne afternoon and Melbourne day. And we've had an array of sunshine, we've had a lot of showers over the last 24 to 48 hours. We're expecting some more showers later on this afternoon and into the evening too. So the ground might potentially deteriorate during the course of the next 90 minutes, but we will certainly see. Heidelberg, of course, have already set up the minor premiership this season. They're looking to hopefully try and go and claim back-to-back championships this season. Essendon, who've played really well this season under Vince Battiato, they want to try and hopefully cause a little bit of a scare tactic among the other top teams that have already set up themselves inside the top fours. We know the top four in the women's is set. It's all about fixturing for next weekend's preliminary finals. And of course, we've got the two big elimination finals over on the men's side, starting tonight between Dandenong City and Dandenong Thunder, and then it will conclude tomorrow afternoon between the Oakley Cannons and the Preston Lions. And those winners will go on to face both Heidelberg in the men's and Avenel respectively next weekend in those preliminary finals before we have the double header of the grand final on the 13th of September. Both sides coming off losses last week, dropping vital points, and especially this deep in the campaign, you don't want to drop vital points. And for Heidelberg, they sewed up the minor premiership a couple of games ago. But for Essendon, last week's win could have potentially cemented themselves most likely for maybe a home final, or putting a little bit more more pressure on both Bulleen and Boxall respectively. So we'll keep our eyes peeled on those games happening across both Wembley and the Veneto Club later on. I was going to say not later on today, but during this match too, as every single game is now kicked off. Start 2025's last round of the regular season. Good through ball here now for Grace Marr for the Royals. On this right-hand side here for the Royals, tries to cross it in. Ball ricochets off, and we'll see the first corner of the afternoon going away of the Royals through Sasha Corey. First goal and opportunity here for the home side this afternoon. Corey crosses that one in and goes over the byline. It'll be a goal kick for Heidelberg. Weather at the moment looking fine, still clouds up in the skies. We might be seeing a few dark clouds moving overhead over the next hour or so, but hopefully the weather can hold off until at least 5 o'clock. And as mentioned, what's been a very yo-yo day weather-wise here in Melbourne. Heidelberg trying to get out of the defence. Masuda had that ball cut off there by Kendra Smith. The right-hand side again here for Olivia Wood. Wood puts it inside here now for the Royals, trying to get through there with Sasha Corey, and lobbed away again was Heidelberg's defence. Another corner here for the Royals, second corner of this game. With the Royals having all the attacking going their way to start off this, let's say, vital last round of the regular season. It'll be Grace Marr on this occasion. Sasha Coy took the last corner. She's got to go deep in goals alongside Maya Hayson from Heidelberg. So Mark crosses it in. There for Alana Stern. Essendon retain possession. Chance now here for the Royals, and that first opportunity of the game goes by the right-hand post. The first 5 minutes have really belonged to Essendon. Heidelberg just struggling to get out of defence, and they've turned the ball over yet again. That ball's gone over touch. Will be Essendon throw in. Let's see Bresciano to throw this ball back in here for the Royals. Headed nicely here as Steph Clay is actually on the field starting, so we'll find out actually who's not playing, because on my starting sheet she was on the bench, but Steph Clay is on the pitch for Heidelberg. We've just seen another 7 pop up. There's Matsuda. Might have assistance here from Galea. She's up to the pass back. Does so to Rosie Wild. Right, eyed off here by Olivia Woods. Short pass here for Heidi Dry. O'Donoghue. Heidelberg trying clear it. Only as far as halfway. Essendon keep it in their front third. Kendra Smith as well. Good pass in there for the Royals. On his right-hand side there, and passed away there by Heidi Dry for Heidelberg. Sees ball thrown in here for the Royals. Bresciano. Ball goes out of touch again. 6.5 minutes gone here in the first half. Essendon nil, Heidelberg nil. What's a pivotal game. So Essendon with a win today can finish as high as thirds. That ball's blocked away nicely there by Rosie Wild. So Essendon can finish as high as thirds. It'll be decided whether they're going to head to either Boxall or Bulleen next weekend, or potentially head to Heidelberg if they lose today in that return match. Queens on 42 points, Box Hill 40 points, Essendon's on 38 points. They can get to 41 points, and best case scenario can finish in third position. But then they've got to travel next weekend regardless. Corner kicks in, not bad attempt there from the Royals. Cleared away here potentially now by O'Donoghue. Got a teammate there in Tamar 11. Might have a bit of space, but it's cleared nicely there in the end by Amy Parkinson. So Burgers with an opportunity to get into their front third. Really for the first time this afternoon. Carrick had that ball cleared away, ricocheted off a Royals play, and will stay with the Burgers. So they continue now to get a first real opportunity in their front third. It's been all Essendon to start things off in this game. Find Masuda. Continues to stay out. Cleared away again by Amy Parkinson. Hasten on the throw-in. Inside now, the 18-yard box for Heidelberg. Might be cleared away here by Essendon. Heidelberg's going to make tough work for the Essendon defenders. Doing well there was Kendra Smith. Only as far as Hardy Dry there for Heidelberg. Wild in a bit of a battle there. Good tackle there, good challenge. Hastings now a chance to clear away, and that's what she's done. Didn't mind a challenge there from Rosie Wild on Olivia Woods. And Essendon with possession at halfway. Bresciano. Right hand side now here for Betty Michael. She couldn't control that one. Ball goes out of the touch. It'll be a Heidelberg throw in. 10 minutes gone. 0-0 still here between Essendon and Heidelberg. If you've just joined us, Heidelberg set up my premiership a couple of games ago, so they can't drop from first position. They are guaranteed a home preliminary final next weekend. And Essendon can only go as far as third position, so they will have to travel next week. So in turn, this is Essendon's final game at Cross Keys for season 2025. Both Bulleen and Box Hill playing their respective matches as we speak at the Veneto Club and at Wembley, respectively. Pass back here for Zara Board. So pass is good for Urich. Got as far as Heidi Dry there for Heidelberg. Here's Urich again now for the Royals. Good tap there from Grace Marr. And on the run here, chance now for Olivia Wood. She's got one-on-one with the keeper. Might serve an opportunity here, thought about it. Passes back now to Grace Marr. Gives Kayaku an opportunity to get back inside her box. And offside's been called, so opportunity there for Essendon. Levin. Cleared away nicely, but as far as Zara Board. Masuda got cut off there by Alana Cern. Ball again goes out to touch. It'll stay with Heidelberg here on halfway at Cross Keys Reserve. Masuda fighting here now with Amy Parkinson. Ball stays with Heidelberg. Another throw in for the away side. Heidelberg with the 15 wins this season to secure the minor premiership. Masuda with back heel. And they keep it in, they can. Cleared away nicely in the end there by Essendon. It's going to stay with Heidelberg. And chance for them to set up. Thrown by Maya Hasten. Carrick. Levin. And she loses possession of the ball. Long throw in there for Amy Parkinson. Headed nicely there by Warheads. So Bulling's playing Brunswick Juventus right now as we speak at the Veneto Club, and Box Hill hosting Preston Lions. So the three teams jostling for second, third and fourth respectively, all playing their home games this afternoon. There's a free kick here now for Heidelberg. First set piece free kick of the afternoon. Essendon working with a wall of two. So it goes inside now here for Masuda potentially. Cleared away nicely there by Alana Cern. And ball goes out for Heidelberg's first corner of the afternoon. It'll be Tamar Levin potentially to take this corner kick and might set up Masuda for the small pass. Try and cross this ball in. That's what Levin's doing. Masuda thought she was going to get the short pass. Levin said, I'm going to curl this ball inside. That's what she does. Masuda with the header. Not bad there for Heidelberg. Cleared away nicely in the end. Rosie Wild tried going the back end of that one. Here's a shot opportunity there. Small touch there from Galea to Caitlin Carrick. And ball goes over the byline and a goal kick here for the Royals. So Heidelberg with a couple of attacking possessions the last couple of minutes. Likewise, can't break the deadlock. So in the other game, Bulleen already 3-0 up against Brunswick Juventus, which potentially now sees them head to second position. And it's 2-1 out of Box Hill between Box Hill and Preston. Box Hill lean at 2-1 at the moment, 15 minutes into. So at this point in time, it looks like it's going to be Heidelberg and Essendon this time at the Olympic Village next weekend, and it might be Bulleen taking on Box Hill at the Veneto Club. As I mentioned, Bulleen 3-0 up against Brunswick Juventus, and Box Hill has got 2 goals up against Preston, who've only scored 1. So we've always seen 3 goals in both of the other 2 vital games. That makes up the top 4. And it's still 0-0 here at the moment between Essendon and Heidelberg as we tick into the 17th minute of this game. Galea. Dry. Peel. Right to Steph Galea. Over the top. Levin. Chance now for Heidelberg here. And they've cleared that away nicely of Essendon through Alana Cern. Finds Corey. On the run now here, Olivia Woods. She's been dispossessed And Heidelberg are away at halfway. A short chip there from Moorhead was too much there for Sarah Masuda to handle. Picked up nicely there by Zara Board. Here's Olivia Woods as Heidelberg made it mill of that one, and Wood hits the deck, but it's going to stay here with Essendon. Chance now here, curled nicely in the end by Grace Ma. Ball goes left side of the byline. It was cleared away nicely there in the end by Kairaku of Heidelberg. And the third corner at the far corner post again here for Essendon. And it will be Grace Ma to take that corner. Ma's going to curl this one in. Chance for Essendon. Ball might head back over the touch. It's not. Ma's going to keep it in here for the Royals. Ball's cleared away nicely there by the Burgers. Only as far as Amy Parkinson. It stays now here again. Ma inside. Good punch away there from Heidelberg and cleared away nicely there by Rosie Wild, who finds Sarah Masuda. Masuda versus Juric. Heidelberg's on a bit of a run here. Cleared away nicely in the end there by Alessia Bresciano. Masuda keeps it in, finds Galea. Hayson. Galea with the shot off there. Finds Zara Board nicely. A couple of chances gone for both sides. Start this one. If you're just joining us around the grounds, Bulleen lead 3-0 over Brunswick Juventus at the moment. 20 minutes into that one, and Box Hill are 2-1 up against the Preston Lions. Masuda cleared away nicely in there by Michaela Juric, and it will present themselves another opportunity here. Heidelberg through a corner with Sarah Masuda to take the corner kick this time around. Short past 11. Thought about going back to Masuda. She opts to. Masuda crosses it inside. Then saved nicely there by Zara Board. She gets on with it. Finds Bresciano. Let's see, Bresciano outmaneuvered there nicely in the end by Rosie Wild, who's had a good start to this game. And it will be a Heidelberg throw in here through Heidi Dre. Wilbert. Ball blocked there was Kendra Smith. It's going to stay here with Heidelberg tomorrow 11. Fighting there with Michaela Juric. Juric wins out. However, Heidelberg won themselves another throw in. Heidelberg with a chance now. As we tick into halfway through this first half. Dre inside now for the Burgers. Peel. Tough position. Fights off Bresciano. Couldn't fight off the other Essendon defender. And that ball's been ricocheted off Bronte Peel. And well done. Good pressure there from both Wilbert and, of course, Bresciano there for Essendon to warrant the goal kick. Peel. Warhead. Wild. Ball cut off there by Amy Parkinson. She couldn't keep it in. And he goes to have a touch again, so it'll be a Heidelberg throw in. And Heidelberg get on with it quickly. Masuda. Pass was no good there from the Royals. And Heidelberg might retain possession. They do, and they've lost it. And they'll get possession back. Trying a bit of a run there. Cleared away nicely there in the end by Juric. Masuda. The run here, Tamar 11. Goes from broke from outside. Another shot off there by Heidelberg, missing. Still 0-0 here, 24 minutes lapsed in this one. Final round of the 2025 NPLW Victoria competition. This preliminary final weekend starts next week. As mentioned, we'll keep our eyes peeled on the other games happening across both Bulleen and Box Hill. As Bulleen have now scored their 4th goal, so they're now 4-0 up against Brunswick Juventus and looking like they're about to guarantee themselves a home final. And Box Hill are 2-1 up against Preston Steel 23 minutes into that one. So at the moment, it looks like Heidelberg will be hosting Essendon next weekend in the corresponding fixture. This time at home for Heidelberg, and Box Hill will be heading to the Veneto Club next weekend to take on Box Hill in the second preliminary final. So at this point in time, you'd almost say that second position is sewn up. So that Bulleen and Heidelberg have both got home finals coming next weekend. Maya Hasten clears that one away nicely. There will be a throw in here for the Royals very, very shortly. Both sides drop points. As I mentioned last weekend, Essendon lost 2-1 to South Melbourne. Bulleen beat Heidelberg 4-1. Bronte Peel on a bit of a run now here for Heidelberg. Chance to try and go inside for Masuda. Cleared away nicely here by the Royals. Parkinson clears that one nicely. Woods. And unfortunately, Olivia Wood was just offside as she started to go on a little bit of a run. Touch there from Rosie Wild, got cut off there in the end. Michael cut away nicely there by Wild. Juric keeps it in the front third now for the Royals. Throwing coming up here now for Essendon through Bresciano. Heidelberg look like they're happy to just conserve a bit of time in this one. Or they might go and chance here for a goal. Masuda, Steph Galea, Heidelberg going to put the first one in. And who else but the captain, Steph Galea? A bit of lapse in defensive concentration there from the Royals. And Heidelberg get the first goal of the afternoon here across Keys Reserve through to captain Steph Galea. Good assist there from Sarah Masuda. And 28 minutes in, it's Heidelberg United 1, Essendon Royals nothing. And unfortunately for Essendon Royals, that almost sews up them finishing in 4th position, and we'll have the return leg next weekend at the Village against Heidelberg. Unless they can muster up something. Essendon trying to get through halfway at the moment, but Heidelberg doing really well defensively. Parkinson over the top now here for Sasha Coy. Maybe a bit too much there in the end. Maya Hastings going to clear the ball away. And Heidelberg keep possession. It looks like the away side got the momentum going their way at the moment. Unless Essendon can turn this one around. Ma. Corey. Cleared away nicely. Headed here for Essendon. Chance now for them to get their first goal. And goes left side of the post. Through Kobe Wilbert. Great opportunity there for Essendon to try and equalise. To make things a little bit more interesting. And try and get into 3rd position if Box Hill do fall behind to the Preston Lions and Essendon can get themselves in front. As mentioned, Bulleen most likely have sewn up 2nd position now. The last time we saw it was 4-0 against Brunswick Juventus. And it's still 2-1 between Box Hill and Preston in favour of Box Hill. Drive for Heidelberg. Passes nicely here for Levin. Trying to get through Bresciano. She falls over and slips over. Bresciano keeps her feet. And she's away now here for the Royals. Passes nicely. Ball back with Heidelberg, however. O'Donoghue. Got 2 to deal with. Sarah O'Donoghue did really well there. Just clears the ball away. Probably nothing else she could do in that situation. Zarbor throws it now to Michaela Juric. Cern. Juric in a bit of trouble. Masuda maybe over the top again for Steph Galea. Cleared away nicely here this time around by Cern. Parkinson makes sure that ball's far away from the box as humanly possible for the Royals. And Essendon might go on a clear run here. Chance now for Betty Michael. Just couldn't control in the end and cleared away nicely there by Heidelberg. So Zara Board really leading by example from the back, literally. Ball goes out of touch and it'll be a goal kick for Essendon. So we're taking the 33 minutes here at Cross Keys Reserve. Essendon down 1-0 against Heidelberg, courtesy, of course, of the captain, Steph Galeo, scored the first goal. Assisted nicely there by Sarah Masuda. And puts potential pressure on Essendon to try and potentially get in away trip to Bulleen. They're most likely going to be heading back and playing this same team next weekend, Heidelberg, in the first preliminary final to see who gets up on grand final days. We're not too far. We're 2 weeks away from the grand final for both the men's and women's. And what should be a big occasion. Parkinson crosses that ball inside for Essendon. Head away nicely there by Rosie Wild. And Heidelberg just continuing just teeter with possession here. This could be a danger ball here for Zara Board. Almost met Masuda, but cleared away nicely. Did Zara Board. Bit of a late challenge there by Heidelberg. Called on Caitlin Carrick. It will be an Essendon free kick, 35 minutes gone in this first half. It's Battiato just with a quick conversation with Sasha Corey. Rolls setting themselves up here for the free kick. Suda. Galea. In space now here, and offside on this occasion was Bronte Peel for Heidelberg. As the sun comes back out here at Cross Keys Reserve with a cloud and sky, but we'll keep our eyes peeled over the course of the afternoon. Heidelberg on a little bit of a run now here. Chance now for Caitlin Carrick. Carrick on the left-hand side. Can she keep it in? She can. Masuda still running for the ball here for Heidelberg. Cleared away only as far as O'Donoghue. So O'Donoghue has been dispossessed nicely there by the Royals, and they are away. On the run now here for Olivia Woods. She's got two to deal with. Not a bad attempt there by Olivia Woods. Bit more of a pressure ball than anything like that. Pressure shot. And another goal kick here for Heidelberg as they'll keep this 1-0 advantage. Board clears there for the Royals. We hasten to throw this ball in here for Heidelberg. We got a 1-0 lead courtesy of Steph Galea. Hasten. Heidelberg here through Bronte Peel. All goes out. It'll be called last touch there on Bronte Peel. Wilbert. Only as far as Rosie Wild in defence here for Heidelberg. We turn into the 39th minute of this one. Bulleen have scored another goal, so they now go 5-0 up, 38 minutes gone in that one, and Preston have tied things up against Box Hill 2-2. So Bulleen have sewn up a home final guaranteed now. 5-0 lead over Brunswick Juventus. And Box Hill and Preston at the moment are 2-2 in the other game at Box Hill at the moment. So Preston have scored one back. So at the moment it might open the door up just a little bit here for Essendon. If Preston get a win and Essendon can come back here against Heidelberg, then Essendon will head to the Veneto Club next week. It'll be Heidelberg versus Box Hill in the preliminary finals. Ma. Here for Sasha Corey. Couldn't get over Kayaku in the end. And Anastasia Kayaku did really well there for the Heidelberg. Right position at the right time. Not enough there for the youngster from Adelaide United in Sasha Corey. Shiano. Smith. Warhead did well there. Essendon have had a couple of good chances and good looks in the last couple of minutes. They might get another one here to Bresciano. Crosses inside and a bit too much in there for Sasha Corey to get front-footed there, and Karaku did really well just to latch onto the ball and cleared away here now for Heidelberg. On the run here, Bronte Peel versus Alana Cern. Battle won there by Heidelberg, but good dueling there between Peel and Cern. Carrick. Essendon clear it away again. Levin. Will keep possession. Cleared away nicely again by Essendon. Wall of Reds inside the box. defensively, and Heidelberg putting Essendon under a bit of pressure here. We're at halfway, cut off nicely there by Sarah Matsuda. She's been dispossessed. Heidelberg doing well. Levin, Masuda. Clearing this one away here was Grace Marr. The A-League experience she's got. Finds now someone with also a bit of A-League women's experience in Sasha Corey. I pass it over to Betty Michael. Ball goes out of touch. Essendon set themselves up here. 43 minutes gone now. In the first half, Heidelberg leads 1-0. Courtesy of a Steph Galea strike. Halfway through this first half, assisted by Sarah Masuda. On the live ladder, at this point in time, it'll be Heidelberg and Essendon next weekend at the Olympic Village in Bulleen versus Box Hill at the Veneto Club in the two NPL Women's preliminary finals. Heidelberg now might have a chance to double their leads. They went on a bit of a run there. They'll keep possession. Levin, Peel. She might go for a shot there nicely on the left foot there from Bronte Peel. Bizarre board. Slides underneath, picks up the ball and avoids Essendon going 2-0 down in this one. Bulleen lead 5-0 over Brunswick Juventus, and it's Box Hill and Preston 2-all at the moment at Box Hill. The scores updates on probably the matches that really sort of will define as a tug of the jumper there through Sarah Donahue. And she will receive her first booking of the afternoon. So Donahue will go into book there for the tug of the jumper on Olivia Wood. Of course, we know a lot of football and a lot of, in particular, English football. After being in Europe for a couple of weeks, they've really cracked down on the tugging of the jumper, and it does warrant cards now in, I believe, the Premier League and, of course, the Women's League as well over there in England. And it's almost mirrored here in Australia. Heidelberg clear away there from the free kick through Alana Cern. Galea did well. Finds Caitlin Carrick. Back to the captain and Galea now to Masuda. They've aligned well in this first half, these two. Galea on a bit of a run. Ball stays in. Didn't have a ricochet or the win assisted potentially the ball there. 1 minute of added time to be added into this first half. Maybe one more opportunity for Essendon in attack. Try and equalise. However, Heidelberg have got a bit more of a run there. Well done by Alessia Bresciano. Saw Tamaleva in her sights and clear that ball away as quickly as possible. And now you would say this would probably be the last possession of the first half. Going away of Heidelberg. Matsuda. Having to deal with Amy Parkinson, who's been really good this afternoon for Essendon. That ball's been cleared away potentially. Essendon might get out of dodge. Wood. As far as Tamara 11. Masuda. Peel couldn't get her foot on that one either. And that is the end of the first half. So as we go into the rooms at half-time, Steph Galea with the first goal of the game. Assisted nicely there by Sarah Matsuda. And potentially now, this might be a corresponding fixture unless Essendon can get a result this afternoon and Box Hill can drop points to Preston out of Box Hill. But as we take a short break here from Cross Keys Reserve, it is Heidelberg United leading this one 1-0. The minor premiers are in front over Essendon. What can the Royals...
Let's go!
Welcome back to match day 22 of the 2025 NPLW Victoria season. At halftime here at Cross Keys Reserve, it's Heidelberg 1, courtesy of Steph Galay's goal earlier in the first half. Essendon Royals nothing, so the live ladder stays the way it is right now. Heidelberg will be taking on Essendon in his corresponding fixture next weekend. And it will mean that Bulleen, who are most likely going to sell up second position, they're 6-0 up against Brunswick Juventus at half-time. They will take on Box Hill United, who are currently locked in a 2-2 battle with Preston Lions at Box Hill as we speak at half-time. So still a bit more to come over the next 45 minutes or so. And for Essendon, they're hoping that Preston Lions can give them some sort of reprieve and try and get themselves back into this one. As we know, the top four has been locked in. So there can't be any movement from fourth downwards. But it does mean that most likely we could be seeing a Heidelberg-Essendon rematch next weekend, this time at the Olympic Village in Heidelberg instead. But unless Essendon can change the fortunes of the next 45 minutes, we shall see. They're 1-0 down against Heidelberg. Second half about to begin very, very shortly. And we are underway here in the second half of this one. Essendon going to the left side of your screen. Heidelberg going to the right-hand side of your screen in this second half. And Heidelberg want to get the win today just to give themselves a bit more momentum heading home for a home prelim final. No doubt they will be packing out next weekend, that's for sure, on prelim final. Of course, their men's side already through to a preliminary final, and they'll find out the winners, or they'll find out their opponents, I should say. As we know, we've got the two men elimination finals coming up tonight and tomorrow. The Dandenong Derby tonight between Dandenong City and the Dandenong Thunder, which should be a cracking contest. It always is highly contested in the Dandenong Derby, that's for sure. And then tomorrow, last year's champions, the Oakley Cannons. Oh, they thought very, very surely. Oakley Cannons, I should say. They are taking on the Preston Lions at Jack Edwards Reserve. And similar to last season, Oakley might have to do it the hard way again in season 2025 to try and defend their championship. But they're taking on Preston, who've had a really good month of football, lean into the final series this season. So we'll definitely see how that pans out tomorrow. Essendon have made a couple of changes, it seems. Masters is on for her first minutes of the afternoon. We will get to see who's off very, very shortly. But a change for Essendon at halftime. Betty Michael's off. Thank you to our cameraman Nathan for confirming that with me, confirming that news. Good cross inside there for Bronte Peel. Cleared away nicely there by Alana Stern. And Essendon away here's Masters. Tries to get boot to ball and couldn't do so. It's good to have an extra pair of eyes with me this afternoon. Long ball inside the box there for Heidelberg through Maya Hasten. Cleared away nicely there by Bresciano, but it will stay with Heidelberg. Second half has just gone underway between Bulleen and Brunswick. It is 6-0 in favour of Bulleen, and it's just gone underway as well at Box Hill. Box Hill and Preston are 2-2 in that one. So, as I mentioned, if the results stay the same, it will be Heidelberg versus Essendon next weekend in the first preliminary final, and then the second preliminary final, it will be Bulleen at home to Box Hill. If you're Box Hill, you'd be you'd be wondering how you try and stop Bulleen, who have unfortunately put Brunswick Juventus to the sword so early in that game, and hopefully Brunswick can put up a bit more of a fight in the second half against Bulleen, which would be good for them morale-wise to try and finish off the season. But it'd be an awful way to finish the season, being in that position if you're Brunswick Juventus. Whereas both Heidelberg and Essendon want to try and get a result of sorts. Heidelberg with all the momentum heading into their home final next weekend, and Essendon, well, if they do take on Heidelberg again next weekend, at least they could sort of study the tape on Monday and cross-examine what they need to improve on to give Heidelberg, or to give themselves a chance against Heidelberg next weekend in the preliminary final. Wild cleared away here, cleared the ball away. Hasten for Masuda. Back to Maya Hasten. So Masuda, she lost that one. Shot off there by Olivia Wood, goes over the byline. It'll be a goal kick here for Heidelberg. As you know, both sides playing this afternoon will be playing finals. Essendon have had a pretty solid home record this season. This will be their final game at Cross Keys reserved for season 2025. Rolls complete his ball away. They do. Through NPLWVIC. Dre finds Bronte Peel. Peel having to deal with 3. Short pass. Heidelberg. Masters. Here now for O'Donoghue. Ma. Chance now for Essendon here. Parkinson. Now for Masters. Wood inside the box. Had that ball blocked away. Karaku averting potential corner kick. As we'll have a stop and play here. Heidelberg might be very, very shortly about to implement a substitution, their first sub of the afternoon. As mentioned, Betty Michael off for Essendon, brought in Kitty Masters at half-time as Vince Battiato. Deck there was Rosie Wild, who has had a really good game this afternoon in defence. She's done a lot right, giving Karaku a bit of a reprieve and potentially helping Anastasia Karaku to maybe a clean sheet this afternoon. Suda trying to go on the back end of that header. Alana Soon beat her to it. If Galea gets in there, couldn't get through to ball herself. Essendon keep possession. Olivia Wood try to go in there for now Parkinson. Here's Olivia Wood. Parkinson on this left-hand side, crosses it in. A bit away nicely there by Rosie Wild and constitutes a corner. The first corner of the second half going away to the Royals. 4 minutes gone in this second half, and gives Essendon a chance now from the corner kick. Gives them a potential sniff, maybe equalising it. And as we know, Box Hill and Preston are locked at 2-2 at the moment at Wembley Park in Box Hill. Essendon, chance here for them. Can they get it in? They can't. A wall has been set up nicely there by Heidelberg. Cleared away nicely there by Steph Galea. That ball's away now for Heidelberg in the crisp sunshine at Essendon. Matsuda. Here's Tamara 11. She might have a chance herself, and Tamara 11 makes it 2-0. Great goal by Tamara 11. And it's almost, you'd say, 3 points now here for Heidelberg. And Essendon will finish 4th on the table. Tamar Levin's been threatening in that first half. In the back end of the first half, she had a bit of space on this occasion. And Tamar Levin puts herself on the scoreboard this afternoon. Heidelberg United 2, Essendon Royals nothing. 55 minutes gone. Masuda just puts her body in there from a Kendra Smith kick. And Heidelberg now putting a lot of pressure on the Essendon Royals here. So if you're a Box Hill fan, you're breathing a sigh of relief at this point in time, knowing that third position won't be threatened in the slightest. And you can almost say now that both preliminary finals might be potentially locked in. We know Pauline's guaranteed a home final next weekend, and now it looks like they're most likely going to be facing Box Hill, with Essendon now having to head to the Village next weekend to take on this Heidelberg outfit in the return leg. Masuda trying to dispossess Alana Stern there. Kendra Smith hits the deck, so does a few other Heidelberg players. Ball spaces out now to Bresciano. Headed away nicely there by Rosie Wild, who's been a pillar in defence this afternoon for Heidelberg. Masuda, who's also had a cracking game. She hits the deck and wins herself a free kick. Going away here now for Heidelberg in their back half through Rosie Wild. Well, football is definitely in the air here in Melbourne. As all eyes look towards, of course, September 13, grand final day for both the men's and women's. As both preliminary finals will be locked in next week by the conclusion of this weekend. Of course, not only we've got the last round of the NPL women's season before the preliminary finals, we've also got the two men's games coming up tonight and tomorrow afternoon. City and Thunder to start things off tonight, and then Oakley Cannons to try and defend their championship. They have to do it the hard way. They are home to the Preston Lions tomorrow afternoon. We're the winners of those will face Avondale and Heidelberg in the men's respectively. Essendon to throw it in now for Heidelberg. 60 minutes gone in this one. And they lead 2-0 against Essendon. Royals clear it away. Suter, the Midas touch. There's a teammate there in Carrick. Ball's ricocheted away. And now with the Royals. Through midfield. Corey. Inwards here for Olivia Wood. Chance out for the Royals. And cleared away nicely there in the end. Isabella Warhead. So we're going to see a double substitution. Molly Burke coming off for Sarah Donahue. And Velopoulos coming on, I should say, for the captain Steph Galea, who contributed to the scoreboard in the first half. So a double substitution here for the Burgers. Essendon will throw this bad boy in to Amy Parkinson. Essendon with a chance now to shoot their first goal. Not a bad attempt from outside there by, I believe it was Bresciano there in the end. Akaraku has been fantastic all game. Velopoulos the mix for the first time this afternoon, blocked away nicely near and there by Alana Cern. Will be a Heidelberg throw in. A nice sunshine here at Essendon. We didn't know whether the weather was going to turn or not. There were rumblings that the weather might have turned later in the afternoon, but might be expecting that potentially later tonight, which fortunately for both Dandenong teams in the men's game might not bode well for them later on tonight if the weather does turn. Ma, she goes on her right boot, and Karaku again not fazed by that shot there by Essendon. And Anastasia Karaku at the moment keeping her own clean sheet. Levin through the middle. Hayson try to go towards Masuda. And Cern instead. And he's going to stay here with Heidelberg. Hayson now finds Masuda. Masuda might cross this one in. Thought about it. Finds Velopoulos instead. Inside, another header here. Chance. Not a bad attempt there by Bronte Peel. Saved nicely in there by Zara Board. And Heidelberg almost made this one 3-0. Vince Battiato is about to make his second substitution, looks like very, very shortly. As Heidelberg will cross it in here with the corner. Chance now for Heidelberg. Ball goes wayside. Might be cleared away here near by Bresciano. And the ball goes out. Renee Pocock going to make her way onto the pitch for the first time this afternoon, taking the place of Kendra Smith. We go around the ground, 62 minutes in, and Box Hill now 5-2 up against Preston. So scored 3 goals in the space of 15 minutes, and Bulleen are 7-0 up against Brunswick Juventus. So unfortunately for Essendon, you'd say now the finals bracket is set, and Heidelberg will be Essendon's opponents next weekend. Whereas Bulleen will host Box Hill United at the Veneto Club in what should be a cracking semi-final clash as well. The ball goes out to touch again by Maya Hayson. The goal kick here for the Royals in their final home game of the season. So Vince Vadiata, he can get a bit more of a look at Heidelberg. And where potentially the Royals can improve next week to try and get a victory against, you'd say, one of the hotly contested favourites to win the championship this season. I mean, Heidelberg won it last season. They want to try and win back-to-back championships this year. Ball is cleared away. Wood. Once Parkinson on this left-hand side now for Essendon. Can she keep it in? She cannot. And Heidelberg is putting a lot of pressure now on Essendon's front third. Roxy Peel had to deal with Alana Sturm, Masuda. A bit too much in the face there of Michaela Juric. And a free kick going the way of the Royals. And on the quick run here is Alessia Bresciano. She had that ball cut off nicely by Carrick. She crosses it inside. A bit too much on that one. Ball will go out of touch. And it will be a goal kick. Now we can start to look maybe towards the finals now for these two sides in particular. Essendon have done a really good job in what was a slow start for them in season 2025, but found some big wins over the journey. I mean, they gave South Melbourne their first blemish of the season back in round 10 here at Cross Keys Reserve. And of course, Heidelberg want to try to go back-to-back and try and win the championship, and of course they're doing it for the late great Keely Lockhart, who they lost earlier this year. So it's going to turn into what is going to be a sensational September final series with probably the 4 best teams in it all season. South Melbourne probably the most disappointing, I'd say, of the teams missing out, because they did start off really well, and it's just unfortunately a mid-season slump has seen them miss out on the opportunity to play finals again in 2025, in what's been a really disappointing year for both South Melbourne's men's and women's competition, both of them missing finals. And I don't remember the last time I've seen South Melbourne miss finals on both sides, let alone both the men's and women's. They're generally the two strong teams, and of course we did see in the A-League women's earlier this summer, Sydney FC were at bottom of the table, but then they came home with a wet sail, only to miss out in finals by a couple points. But they were pretty disappointed themselves, and they're normally a strong women's team themselves, Sydney FC. So to see South Melbourne miss out on finals on both the men's and women's side this season, it's going to feel weird to see them not feature in September. Of course, South Melbourne were probably putting a lot of their focus on the Australia Cup before ultimately falling to Auckland FC in the Australia Cup only a couple of weeks, in their Australia Cup game only a couple of weeks ago. Wilbert in space now, potentially here for Masters. Cleared away nicely again by Heidelberg, but Amy Parkinson will retain possession here for the Royals. Masters now to Pocock. Pops it over the top here, and maybe a bit too much there, and fortunately for Bresciano, she runs out of real estate in the end, as all subs are coming on as we speak. So Capitanio, Cambrero, and wait on the last one. So the suitor's coming off, it looks like, as well, and wait for the ball to go back up shortly with 3 subs, but I'll give you the third and final sub very, very shortly. Or we might not, actually, so well, I would just be counting heads when we get the opportunity. But yeah, Heidelberg have made now 3 more subs, and really just maybe work on an alternative game plan with a bit more of their depth squad that they've got. Taken to the 73rd minute of this one. Goals by Steph Galea and Tamar Levin for Heidelberg. And quickly around the grounds, it's still 7-0 between Bulleen and Brunswick. And it's 5-2 between Box Hill and Preston. So Box Hill going to lock in a much needed win there for them, heading towards the final series. And they'll head to the Veneto Club next weekend to take on Bulleen, and Essendon will have the replay match here against Heidelberg, but this time at the Village. Olivia Wood, that ball over the crossbar. Luciano here for Essendon. That ball walked away by Camberero. Parkinson tries to go inside there now for Essendon. Chance here for Renee Pocock. She had 2 to deal with in the end. And Karaku grabs the ball easily there for Heidelberg. 75 minutes ticked into this one. Heidelberg leading 2-0 against Essendon. Might try and make it a third. On the run here now is Heidelberg. Can they get a third goal? Missed on the opportunity the first time. Mopped up nicely there. Capitanio missed on the first attempt. But Caitlin Carrick on the second attempt makes it now a 3-0 advantage to Heidelberg. And they are roaring into September. Essendon will make a couple more substitutions. Parkinson off Vargu on for her first minutes. And Grace Ma, her day is done as well. We'll bring Emily Harbis onto the field for the first time this afternoon. So Heidelberg, who sewed up the minor premiership a couple weeks ago, are going to leave Cross Keys Reserve with 3 points and momentum going into their home fixture against the Essendon Royals next weekend. Ball to be thrown here by Camberero. Laho Palos now back to Guerrero. She hits the deck, free kick for Heidelberg. And the Bergerson just take their time. Enjoy the last 15 or so minutes of this game. They've definitely earned the 3 points this afternoon, and as I said, Essendon are finding out firsthand what Heidelberg can do when they're this dangerous heading into finals football. But also now sends a message to Bulleen and Box Hill respectively, who are the other two sides playing finals in 2025. Here's Tamar Levin. Had that ball blocked off this time. Can they keep possession in? They can't. That's to Emily Harbis. So it'll be a Heidelberg throw in. 79 minutes gone now in this second half. Goals to Carrick, Levin and Galeo respectively for Heidelberg this afternoon. Of course, make sure you follow Football Victoria and the NPL Victoria on social media pages to get the final fixturing for at least the women's side, which will be done and dusted at the conclusion, you'd say, of this game. So the fixtures for both games will come out later tonight, of times, dates, venues, all confirmed. And then we'll find out the fabric of the men's preliminary final at the conclusion of Oakley and Preston tomorrow afternoon. With all roads leading to the grand final on September 13. Here for Heidelberg. Through midfield, Molly Burke. Passes back now to Hayson. Warhead. Karaku. They're just going to share the love with the ball on this possession. However, being cut off there was Maya Hayson by Olivia Wood. And a free kick going away of Essendon. And up there is Sasha Corey, who's had a good season this year, but probably hasn't gone to the heights that she wanted to this afternoon. Free kick here for Lana Soon. Heidelberg going to go with maybe a wall of two. No, a wall of one here. They'll go with a wall of two. Cern inside. Essendon cannot make sure that Karaku leaves without a clean sheet. She's probably most likely going to stay with a clean sheet unless Essendon can get a goal in the last 10 or so minutes of this second half. Now in the 82nd minute, and Barrero runs out of real estate there, so it's going to be an Essendon rule throw in. Heidelberg lead 3-0. Of course, weeks ago they locked in that home preliminary final, and they will play now Essendon next weekend. Box Hill leads 6-2 now over Preston, and Bulleen are 8-0 in the lead over Brunswick Juventus. So it's almost as what you'd be expecting with the four sides playing finals. Probably seedings-wise, you'd say they're pretty much on the mark. Heidelberg's been practically the best team all season, deserved the minor premiership. Bulleen's been probably the second best team this season. And then you have Box Hill and Essendon, who have played sensational football in the back end to warrant finishing third and fourth. And so Essendon will take a lot of learnings out of this defeat this afternoon against the Heidelberg outfit, who are just rolling into September football. And they get one more opportunity to try and stop them next weekend. They're there by Harvest. Wood into the back of Masters. Carrick. The ball back from Hayson. Warhead. That's Barrero now. Camberero. Pass is nice. Clean passing here now from Heidelberg on this possession. Crosses it inside. Which is for Catherine Villapoulos. She got on the back end, and this one's board says no. Rosie Wild going to clean up here now for Heidelberg. Another player who's been superb this afternoon is Rosie Wild. Ball goes over and it'll be a goal kick for Heidelberg. Likewise, Anastasia Kyrk has been fantastic this afternoon. Goals. Likely to keep yet another clean sheet. And for Heidelberg too, it's a good chance for them to bounce back after that 4-1 defeat at the hands of the Bulleen Lions last weekend. You'd say probably potentially the only team that could stop Heidelberg from successfully defending their championship is Bulleen, but crazy things have happened. And now Heidelberg, Carrick, unfortunately, goal will not be allowed there, and the offside's been picked up there in the end. And Carrick could not get herself a brace this afternoon. Pacing through midfield. Levin had that ball dispossessed. Wood. Ball was no good there in the end. From an Essendon attacking point of view, Rosie Wild makes easy work of that, and we've got to stop and play again. Getting herself back up there is Emily Harbus, which it is. And plays reset it here through Karaku. On the run here now is Capitanio, and Capitanio is offside for Heidelberg. A few minutes left here in this last round of the regular season for both of these teams. The last time Essendon will play a home fixture here at Cross Keys Reserve in season 2025. And no doubt there'll be a travelling Royals contingent next weekend as they head up to Heidelberg to see these two teams face off yet again. Carrick. Levin, back to Carrick. Ball cleared away again by Essendon. As far as Rosie Wild. Wild did really well there. Finds Karaku. She might be in a bit of trouble here. Good pressure there by Masters. There's Hayson. Just trying to find a teammate just to put the ball into. Does so. Levin. Flarplos. Hits the deck. Doing well again. Just Camberero. She's been dispossessed here by Sasha Corey. Hasn't stopped trying all afternoon for Essendon. Heidelberg trying to get through. Couldn't do so. They might try again here at midway of Cross Keys Reserve. We're about to find out how much of added time will be added to the game this afternoon. Not too much stoppages wise. Hasten with through ball here for Rosie Wild on this right hand side. Ball goes out of touch. Will stay with Heidelberg. Switching to the last 10 seconds of normal time. We're going to have 2 minutes of added time to finish off this game this afternoon. As the fourth official puts up the 2 minutes. Hasten to Tamar Levin. And it'll be a corner kick for Heidelberg. Tamar Levin's going to take her time with this corner kick. Pass. Levin might cross this ball in. She does. Heidelberg get on the back end, maybe a fourth goal. They can't clear away nicely there by Michaela Juric. Masters. Lost the header on that ball. Offside again is Capitanio. And that is the third offside for Heidelberg in the last 10 minutes of this second half. Free kick going away of Essendon. So they might want to maybe at least grab a goal just before full time. Most likely, it looks like that Anastasia Kaiku is going to collect a clean sheet. Juric with the free kick. Puts the ball inside. Corey. And over top. Chance now here for Essendon to get the first goal, and Kaiku makes sure she doesn't let any goals go past her. And that is full time here, so the minor premiers continue to roar into September. And they will see Essendon next weekend, this time in Heidelberg. A big win. Goals to Carrick, Levin and Galea has set the scene for Heidelberg now to go into September to try and defend their championship. And while they're going to have massive competition, because Essendon will take some learnings out of this game, you'd say. And they've also got two teams that are roaring into the finals themselves in both Bulleen and Box Hill. But it will be Heidelberg and Essendon next weekend in the preliminary final. And it'll be Bulleen and Box Hill next week too. So the preliminary final is set on the women's side. Make sure you follow FB and of course the NPL Victoria social media channels. They will have the final dates, times, venues, everything you need to know for next weekend. But as we conclude our coverage this afternoon, Essendon for their final home game of the season, and Heidelberg, they're going to keep roaring into September. They get the job done 3-0. Thank you for joining us this afternoon here via NPL Victoria on YouTube. Make sure you follow us on the socials, Facebook, X, TikTok and Instagram, and all the finals news will be up there very, very shortly. But it is a good afternoon here from Cross Keys Reserve, Heidelberg, with a 3-0 win over Essendon. These two teams will face each other next week, and we'll bring you the finals football from next week. But on behalf of the entire team, it is a good afternoon here from Cross Keys Reserve.